All right, let's get an understanding and unpack what has been happening, and of course the utterances there by ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule. We are joined via Zoom. Political analyst Levy Ndou is now on SA Today. Thank you very much for coming through, sir.
Good afternoon to you, Colin. Good afternoon to the viewers at home. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, I mean, like, Ace Magashule seems unperturbed by the questions that are being posed by journalists there. He says he sees nothing wrong with what former President Jacob Zuma is saying. And secondly, we know what is happening in the country, and also bringing in historical inferences regarding the appearance of former president, the late Mr. P.W. Botha, refusing to appear at the TRC. What do you make out of this?
Well, I think firstly, the relationship between Ace Magashule and former President Zuma is known to all of us. And Ace Magashule has always been a supporter of former President Zuma. And even though you would try your best to put him in a corner, you would actually find ways to avoid coming with direct answers. My analysis of what happened in that questioning and answer session by journalists and Ace Magashule today, I think it's something that the SG wasn't well prepared for, but also at the same time, he was actually trying his best to come with a definite answer on his views regarding the defiance of former President Zuma, defying the Concord and the Constitutional Court and the Commission. But I think also President Zuma has put some or those who have been supporting him in a very, very difficult situation, because it now becomes quite difficult to defend former President Zuma, because the ANC or the leaders of the ANC are the ones who are supposed to be protecting the Constitution and adhering to all the rules and regulations and go by the book or go by the Constitution. And unfortunately, the former president of the Republic is the one who seems to be defying the Constitution and defying the institutions that has to strengthen our democracy. And it becomes quite difficult for those who support him, and even for those who are sympathetic to him in this difficult moment.
But this is coming as a surprise to many South Africans, because in the past, Mr. Zuma himself said that everybody should respect the work of the commission. And he also said that, with the allegations that were made against him, he will speak at the right time. And also, he said that when he speaks, some people will cry. So isn't this the right time for him to come forward, clear his name, respond to allegations, and after that, we'll see if there's anybody who will cry?
Well, Colin, I don't think it should come as a surprise. Remember, after the former public protector made the recommendations of the establishment of a commission, it took quite a while for the commission to be established, because former President Zuma and some within his circles kept on refusing that a commission should actually take place. And you would also know the delaying tactics by former President Zuma appearing before the commission. But specifically, when one has to come to your question, indeed it is true that former President Zuma has indicated that he would need a day in which he will explain everything to South Africans so that they should know what actually happened. In the past, when he was facing criminal allegations, he spoke about having his day in court so that he should be able to express himself. But unfortunately, there has always been delays and excuses not to appear before the courts. I am not surprised now that former President Zuma, at the most crucial time of the commission, he would not want to participate or present himself as a witness in the commission so that we know exactly what happened. President Zuma has, in the first instance, presented himself in the commission only to indicate that he's being targeted, he's being victimized. There are people who only want to embarrass him or to see him falling down. And thereafter, new stories started to emerge. That never came as a surprise, but because for me, you have got an individual who seemed not to be prepared to take responsibility and also to explain what has actually happened in the past. And indeed, such leaders would actually focus on themselves and themselves alone, and they will defy every legal process that is being established because they have to avoid accountability at all costs.
When you look at how the ANC is responding now, because in the Western Cape they were saying that he should be suspended. On the other hand, there are calls for his presidential benefits should be withdrawn for retired presidents. What do you make out of this, and what does it say about the unity that the ANC envisages to pursue? On the other hand, do you think that he will get support from within the ANC, and what will this mean with the country, rather the country being held at a knife's edge?
I think for me, for the ANC to play safe, it's actually to leave this matter to the Commission and to the law enforcement agencies. The reason being that in the meeting that was held by the National Executive Committee of the ANC, which former President Zuma attended and former President Mbeki attended, the statement that came after that meeting said that the ANC is in support of the Commission of Inquiry that is being led by Deputy Justice Zondo, and the ANC said all members of the ANC should support the work of the Commission and they should also cooperate with the Commission. Former President Zuma was part of that meeting and is a member of the ANC. So the ANC has actually expressed itself in that regard. When we look at the matter that relates to unity in the ANC has a big task of uniting itself so that it galvanizes sufficient support and run the country with the support of the people. But those who want the ANC to be united should also ensure that the same ANC that they want to see united should not be tainted by individuals that do not seem to be respecting the laws of the country, because that would be contradictory to what the ANC stands for. Yes, indeed, there are views from other sectors of society that are suggesting that maybe the benefits, the issue of the benefits to the president should be reviewed. We need to look at the fact that when people make laws or regulations, they would actually at times expect certain individuals who are given positions of responsibility to have certain standards that they are able to use. And unfortunately, this is coming at a time now when the former president is defying the constitution, the former president is defying the entire nation, and that is what will start raising issues that relates to the fact that his life is still funded by the taxpayers' money. And that's why this kind of bills have to come in. But this will actually be left to those that are given the responsibility to make laws, to make these regulations, maybe to look at how best can they review these kind of decisions, so that those who are given these privileges beyond their term of office should actually behave in a manner that is acceptable to all of us. And unfortunately, this is coming because you have a former president who has actually indicated the desire to frustrate the entire nation and to disrespect the institutions that are created to strengthen our democracy.
All right, thank you very much for making time and giving us analysis. Levy Ndou is political analyst, speaking to us right here on SA Today.